Welcome to Biztech's CEO Conversation Show, the show where we engage industry leaders to share insights into how they run and grow their organizations. Today, our conversation is with John Lombard, the CEO of NTT Asia Pacific. NTT Ltd is a leading global technology services company that specializes in telecommunications, cybersecurity, cloud, ICT, and research and development services. John, welcome to the show.
Thanks very much, Brian. Great to be here with you, and hi to everybody watching.
Now, John, before we start, give us an overview of NTT and its business model.
Sure. Yeah, look, NTT Ltd is a global technology services company. We're one of the largest in the world. We operate in over 70 countries. We have over 40,000 employees. And one of the things that we're really focused on is providing a full stack of services for our clients. So that goes all the way from the global network capability that we have, software-defined network, a global data center footprint. We're actually one of the largest, Brian, in the world from a data center perspective. Cybersecurity is very important. All of our cloud-based services and both customer and employee experience services that we provide our clients. And very much the focus is on digital transformation and really helping our clients as they navigate their way through, particularly right now with this pandemic situation that we're all in, and really helping them accelerate their transformation as an organization.
And I'm going to come back to you on that, John. But before that, could you share with our audience a little bit about your background and how you came to join the company from SAP?
Yeah, sure. So as you said, I joined from SAP. I've been in the company for over 5 years. I've been in the IT and management consulting industry for most of my career. I did have a brief stint as the CEO of a publicly listed company in Australia. It was a business and accounting and business advisory organization. But really, I joined because I bought into the vision that NTT had for its global organization, and I'm really a passionate person when it comes to what we can do here in Asia Pacific. I work in Singapore. I commute between Singapore and Australia, and I'm just really passionate about the opportunities that NTT can bring our clients and our employees.
So, John, you've been in NTT for about 5 years plus now.
Yeah.
How has the business changed in the last 5 years under your leadership?
Yeah, so Brian, when I joined Dimension Data, it was called, and a few years ago, actually, NTT decided globally to integrate all of its international businesses that it fully owns under the brand NTT Ltd. So really, over the last couple of years, we've been bringing together a number of fantastic companies in the region. So we've got over 10,000 employees, and really the whole focus of that was to make it easy for our clients to engage with NTT. So rather than having 2 or 3 different representatives from different organizations approach them, it would be one face to the company, one set of processes, one set of platforms and tools, and really to provide that seamless and easy to work with culture inside the company. So that's been one element of the change. And the other one, of course, like I'm sure many of the people that you'll talk to on your program, is to look at how we can simplify and integrate a lot of our back-end processes as well, so that we can have common reporting tools, common tools for our clients, making it easy for our employees to work, etc. So we've been on not only helping our end clients with their digital transformation, but also an enormous journey internally on transforming our own business as well. Okay,
let's zoom in on that. Your internal digital transformation. What are the levers that you've turned in order to make yourself more efficient and perhaps better suited to attend to the needs of your client?
Sure. So one of the things that we've been doing is to really look at the platforms that we have as an organization. So we provide managed services to our clients. So these are long-term relationships that we have to help them achieve certain outcomes, whether that's in the way they operate their network securely, the way they adopt cloud-based solutions. So really looking at how we can simplify these platforms that our clients use, but also internally. So one of the projects that we've undertaken over the last couple of years is around robotic process automation. So we've put in place a number of different what we call bots to support a number of our back-end processes, because that really then allows us to simplify the way that we operate internally, which means it's far easier for our clients to engage with us, and it obviously drives employee satisfaction as well.
And how has the pandemic impacted your digital transformation roadmap?
It's accelerated it. So again, I'm sure you're hearing this from a lot of people, but we have seen enormous acceleration in our own transformation that we're making as an organization, but of course of our clients as well. So things like just the way we work, our employees, like many, are working remotely in many markets around the region and around the world. And what that means is we need to make sure that the applications that we're providing to our employees that they consume and use every day are secure, are easy to use, that we ensure that the network and network infrastructure isn't just designed for the office, but is actually extended to the home as well. So this is one of the changes and one of the transformations that we've been going through, but also in line with that, we've been supporting our clients with that transformation as well.
Yeah, could you share with us then some of the customer success stories and stuff that you have had in helping them in their digital transformation journey, especially during the turbulent times last year, when everyone was boardrooms were in panic, trying to find solutions to deal with the pandemic?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple of areas that we've been supporting our clients with, and one of those has been with their own employees. And one of the first things that we had to do as an organization was actually help a lot of our clients engage effectively with their employees. So as I said, moving that network infrastructure, that secure network, software-defined network infrastructure out of the corporation and into the home. So making sure that people had the right access to the right applications and they were secure. So clearly that was an important transformation and area of support. And the other thing that we saw is many of our clients' engagement with their end customer. I'm sure you and a lot of people listening today have had a completely different relationship with many service providers, with retailers, with government. And a lot of our clients have had to change the way they engage with their end customer. That's been another major shift that we've been seeing as well over the last almost 2 years.
And what have you seen have been the biggest challenges that companies have been facing, and how should they potentially tackle these challenges?
Yeah, so Brian, one of the big areas is around the network. So we have a focus inside NTT. We call it edge to cloud, and providing the secure software-defined and agile network that really connects the devices that we're using here today, or mobile phones or IoT, into cloud-based applications. And getting that connection secure, software-defined is really an important transformation. A lot of corporate networks are very clunky. They were designed for a different era. And one of the key things I would recommend is really have a look at the network infrastructure that you have that connects your customers, your employees, your equipment into those cloud-based applications. The other area is skills and capability. One of the challenges that many of our clients face is getting access to the right people with the right skills, whether that's in cybersecurity, AI, machine learning. And certainly an organization like NTT, we're here to help. We're here to provide some of those skills and capability for our clients to leverage and to use. So really, I'd say, think about the underlying infrastructure and then think about the skills and capability that you need, and really have a business outcome at the center of any of the decisions that you make. Engage business in these discussions. Absolutely, the IT departments need to be driving and involved, but it really does need to be a business-led conversation.
Now, one of the things as part of research for this interview, I realized that NTT has made some very smart investments on a global basis in sports sponsorship, really to highlight some of your solutions in smart cities, analytics, and managed services. And of course, that helps you to connect better with your customers. You're involved in everything from Tour de France to IndyCar to Major League Baseball. How have you leveraged on these investments globally in the Asia Pacific region?
Yeah, that's a great question. So this is something that I'm really, really proud of as an avid sports lover. One of the ones that you mentioned actually is the Tour de France. And pre-pandemic, I had an opportunity to go over there and have a look at our technology in action. And that really is something that's incredibly exciting. As you may be aware, the Tour de France is a unique event in the sporting calendar. Every year it's hosted in a different location. There is no stadium, there is no fixed location. The route changes every year. It goes through mountain, it goes through, summer, wind, rain, snow, all sorts of conditions. And we needed to have technology that really would connect, as I said earlier, at the edge to these cloud-based applications in a secure way. And actually, if you think about the IoT devices in a Tour de France, it's a bike. So each of the bicycle is fitted with a device that sends a signal, capturing a whole lot of analytical data. That goes up through the network and the broadcaster to a helicopter, down into our big data truck. And we crunch those numbers and provide deep analytics that we then provide the broadcasters. So if you think about those edge-based devices, instead of a bike, it could be a laptop, a phone, or a device in a manufacturing plant. If you think about the applications that drive a lot of those analytics, often will sit in a cloud-based environment, and you need that secure connection as well. So we provide in Asia Pac with many of our clients, and also globally, we provide that capability in bringing together the applications through that secure connection to make sure that that we're getting access to the right information and making the right decisions at any point in time. So that technology is really something that has sort of underpinned a lot of what we're doing with our clients here in the region.
John, I want to talk about leadership, because that's a really key ingredient of digital transformation. If there's no clear buy-in from the top, digital transformation will not take place across an organization. What are the top 3 things you would advise chairmen of boards and CEOs of companies really to focus on as part of their digital transformation journey?
Yeah, it's a great question again, Brian. So I think if you think about digital transformation, you're looking at how you're impacting your end customers. You're looking at how you're engaging with your employees as 2 key groups of people that any board or any chairman or CEO needs to consider. So as part of that transformation, as part of that engagement, it's really important to listen to the voices of your customers. Look at how your customers want to engage with you. Look at how they're engaging with some of your competitors. In a similar way, think about how your employees, listen to your employee base, pull together a group of people. Often the younger employees can provide some incredible advice on how they want to engage, how they want to be communicated to. So really listening is one of the most important skills I think any board can have when it's considering its digital transformation. But you also need to think about the underlying security. Unfortunately, we're seeing a rise in cybersecurity-based attacks into many organizations. So really making sure that any of those considerations are always anchored around a really strong security discussion with your internal teams. And as I said earlier, I made the point earlier about skills and capability. Now, I think many boards need to consider the types of skills that they need. Certainly there will be internal skills that will be needed that will be critical, but also partnering with the right organization as well.
So John, I want to zoom in on that key point, skills. So, and that leads me to also your involvement as the co-founder of #HeForShe for Lean in Asia. Yeah. One of the things that I personally believe in as well is really board diversity. What have you been doing in this area in terms of getting more women to be included in boards, as well as other skills? Because a lot of times boards, especially in dealing with digital transformation, you've just hit the nail on the head. Some of those skills are lacking.
Yeah, so he for she actually was set up as part of the Lean In group, the Lean In circle in Asia. And he for she was actually a group of executives, male executives actually. We came together because we wanted to address one of the biggest obstacles, I feel, to having more senior women in senior roles, in CEO roles, or on boards. And that is this topic of unconscious bias. Very few people I come across are consciously biased against gender. Everybody knows, everybody's seen the statistics. It's a no-brainer to have more women in senior roles. Organizations that do are just simply better. They're more profitable, they're more agile, they're easier to do business with. But one of the things that gets in the way, Brian, is this unconscious bias. So it's making sure that women have the opportunity to express themselves in meetings and really understanding the differences that exist between men and women. So we brought this group together to really have a discussion and a dialogue and to deep dive into what could we do to eliminate as much as possible the impacts of unconscious bias and to have open conversations so people are just aware. We all have it. We all have unconscious bias. It's sort of programmed into us, but it's something actually that we can be aware of. And when people are aware, it's amazing the impact that it can have in an organization. So that's certainly one of the things that I think organizations can really do. Run a workshop, get some external support. Organizations like Lean In are happy to come in and run workshops with companies. I've personally been involved in a number of these, and it's amazing the impact it has in really opening up the discussion and the dialogue around getting more female participation in senior roles.
And also, John, one of the ways to sort of take the issue of unconscious bias out of the equation would be then to do external search and selection, isn't it, in terms of new board members? Because a lot of, and you've been running Asia Pacific organizations for a number of years, it's very much an old boys club. My friend recommends another friend for a board position and vice versa.
Yeah. So, I mean, some basic things that we do as an organization. So making sure that you have female participation on the selection committee. So making sure it's a diverse selection committee, and it's diversity runs, beyond gender. It's ethnic, it's religious, it's all sorts of diversity. Creates unbelievable strength for companies. But also making sure that when you're looking at candidates, look at a broad spectrum of candidates and make sure there's a number of really strong female candidates as part of the program. Look, at the end of the day, you want to select based on skills, capability. You want to get the right person for the role. But really, if you're selecting based on just who you know, it can often limit just the opportunity to bring in just amazing talent into the organization. So that's certainly something, I'd be the first to say, I'm not perfect at this. I'm learning each and every day. I challenge myself. Whenever I appoint somebody into a senior role, have I really done enough to look at who and what is available in the market? But I think certainly an area that we should focus on collectively.
John, you've run a couple of accounting firms, technology firms, public firm as well in Australia. What advice would you give someone who is new to that first big job, that first big CEO job, that first big regional head job?
Yeah, so there's lots of advice I could give, Brian, but I think some of the most important things that I've learned, and you referenced there, I was the CEO of a publicly listed company in Australia as well before this role. Look, I think one of the most important things you can do is listen, reach out to all of the stakeholders in an organization. They can be internal stakeholders, they can be board members, they can be key customers or clients, partner organization, and really listen and understand where the organization has been. The history of a company is actually really important because it often defines the culture of a business, but really be clear about the direction that you want to take moving forward. So communication is important, listening to people, having a mentor or somebody that maybe has been in a similar role before. That I think that is really important, particularly if you're going into an industry that you may not be an expert in. I went into a business advisory, superannuation and listed accounting company And I certainly needed to listen to lots of people. I came from a technology management consulting background. So certainly that need to listen, but I think having strong mentorship is also very important as well.
So John, I want to ask you about that. During that transitionary period, how long before you got really comfortable into that public listed role? Because it's a very different role.
Yeah, look, it took me a while. I mean, I never run a publicly listed company before. I was dealing with shareholders, with analysts, with boards, with just completely different processes that I was used to. So it probably took me 6 to 12 months to really get across all of the administrative and compliance and governance aspects of being a CEO of a listed company. And it doesn't matter where you are. If you're listed, there is, you know, a huge governance and compliance component to running that type of business. And so, yeah, probably 6 to 12 months. I think it depends on obviously the person's background, etc. But many of those skills I've taken into this role. So this role, I'm a regional CEO of NTT Ltd. As a region, we're not a listed business, but when it comes to governance, compliance, risk management, all of those skills are so important in any of these roles.
So John, what's on the horizon for NTT? And we're going to come back to NTT now. In 2022, what's the strategy? Is there an M&A strategy? Because obviously you've consolidated your businesses. Where are the gaps in your portfolio that you're looking to expand to? Tell us more.
Yeah, so look, we're really focused, and I'm really focused now on bedding down the integration that we've been in, the journey that we've been on over the last couple of years. Our absolute focus is our end clients and helping them, hopefully, in what is going to be a post-pandemic new normal, or whatever other term you want to throw at it. But I think that, you know, we are all about focusing on helping them accelerate that transformation. So that means for us, we need to continue to make it easier for our clients to engage with us and ensure that our employees see the incredible value of being part of a company like NTT. We're really investing in the future. So we're investing in systems and processes that will simplify the way we operate. I shared with you before an example of that with robotic process automation. You know, we're continuing to look at how we can further simplify a lot of our processes in our company. But, you know, I'm actually incredibly excited about the future. It's been a tough last almost 2 years, I'm sure, for everybody watching the program. But I'm really excited about the opportunities ahead. And I just see there's a lot of upside in this part of the world, in this region of Asia Pacific. And I certainly look forward to 2022.
Now, John, it's been a fascinating conversation, but before you leave us, any final thoughts you'd like to leave us with?
Yeah, look, probably, Brian, I think we should reflect, you know, we've done a little bit of that, reflect on what's been going on over the last, since sort of early 2020. And I think for a lot of our employees, for example, it's been a difficult time. You know, a lot of people working from home, the stresses of not knowing from a health perspective what's around the corner. So a lot of people have done it tough over the last almost 2 years. And I really just want to reinforce the importance of having that empathetic leadership for people watching. Mental health is a big topic, and really understanding and making sure that we create environments where people feel really comfortable talking about any of the health issues that they have, whether that be mental health or other things. And I always believe that our journey and our careers are a marathon and not a sprint. And for me, it's important to be healthy, sports, physical health, and I really do think that enables us to have a long-term career. So, yeah, just a shout out for people to be mindful of some of the pressures that people have been under in recent times.
John, thank you very much for taking your time to be on the show.
Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed it, Brian. Thank you so much.
I'm Brian Fernandez, and I've been speaking to John Lombard, the CEO of NTT Ltd. Asia Pacific, on Biztech's CEO Conversation Show. This video will be on our Facebook and LinkedIn sites, as well as our website, www.biztech.asia. Please like and subscribe to our various platforms. Thanks again for tuning in.